Right marijuana, that is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen.
Marijuana is referred to as Mary Jane, pot, weed, or tea.
That Michoacan, man, Acapulco Gold, man. I even smoke that tight stick.
We're smoking reefer.
The realest thing smoking on the internet. The Podheads Web Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4:20 on a Wednesday, and you're in the Cypher with the Podheads. I'm your Commander-in-Chief, Frank the Tank, and as always, I'm hanging with my very best buds, JB Perez.
Yeah, as always, it is JB Perez in the Cypher with the best of buds. We're at the Podheads Web Shows. You're probably listening to us on WJHM102jams.com. So thank you very much. Google us. We're on all the social media spots. Yeah, we're everywhere. We have another great episode for you guys. So let's get to it. See money.
Hey, everybody. I feel like it's been a long time, even though it's only been a week. Maybe it's the cold weather, but it's been freezing here in New Jersey. Ooh. It's nice to be warm in the studio. Let's get it going, boys. What's up?
All right. Yeah, it's pretty chill down here in Florida. Not as hot as normal, but it's been very comfortable. Shorts weather still. Guys, it's going to be a good one. You know, I mean, we want to get right into it because we're always a little bit behind here, but few things before we get the things going. We're going to talk about the Mexico drug cartel, the Sinaloa, if we're being specific, and we're going to talk about how they damn near Sinaloa 1, Mexican government 0.
That's what it seems like.
That whole thing. But before we do, gentlemen, shall we do this as we always do?
Yeah. We should. This is a special one for me. I want to put one up in the air. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but John Pops Witherspoon died. The guy who played Willie Jones in Friday. Yeah, man. So put one up in the air for him. I saw that, and I just instantly reminded me of one of my favorite stoner movies, Friday, of course. I think it's a lot of people's favorite movie, let's be honest. I mean, I really hope they remake that one day. And the reason they haven't, Chris Tucker says, because Ice Cube won't pay him what he wants. That's the only reason. So come on, Ice. You got the money.
Donna. Come on, Tucker, really? What have you done in the last 20 years?
He didn't pay his taxes because he listened to Wesley Snipes, so Tucker needs that money. That's why.
I was just watching Friday the other day. It's still one of my favorite parts is in the very beginning when Pops is eating the grapes and talking to Craig. It's just about eating up all the pig feet, the chitlins.
I like pig's feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen eating the. Oh, and he goes and takes a dump. He's like, "Come in here. I smell your 30 years. You smelled mine for 15 minutes." You know, like, dude.
Yeah,
he had a very
Pop.
unique way of speaking, his dialect, his acting. I mean, he was kind of the same character in everything he did, but he was so
everybody's
lovable.
Pops. He like kind of. I cannot. I can't even think of the word, but
iconized, right?
Something like that.
Not a word. JB's a little dyslexic, folks. He did an episode with Joe Rogan and his son. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it was really good, really funny. Gives you insight, and just the kind of person he is. I mean, he was broke, that guy, growing up, and he makes me laugh because he would just call his bank just to get his balance nowadays. So he'll be like, just tell me what I got. And they'll be like, $1 million, whatever. And he just goes, that's right. And he just hangs up. He's like a guy that, funny guy. So I just wanted to dedicate this one up in the air to that guy. So rest in peace.
Let's put one in the air for Pops. Speaking of put one in the air, guys, I caved.
No,
I tried to go 30 days. I tried to go 30 days.
Weakling.
Without smoking flower. Right?
Flower, right.
And I made it about 2 weeks. But I will say this.
What happened?
I find that what I did was I got some wax that I thought was really good, potent stuff to just kind of have for on occasion. You know what I mean? When I felt I needed a little bit, you know what I mean? Something to help me chill a little bit. You know what I mean? And I feel like the wax just didn't. I just feel like it doesn't do it for me. Edibles, nothing but flour gets me right. And that's what I've learned during this 2 week stretch. It's
we've
savagery.
talked about it many times recently in the recent episodes. Is that it's you? It's not the marijuana. It's you. How it
Yes.
affects you. So everybody has a different style, different taste, different flowers hit them different. Flour, wax, batter, live sugar. I mean, there's so many different styles of cannabis that. There you go. What are you laughing?
That was a huge flame. He almost lost his
Almost
beard
burned my
right
face
there,
I
off.
didn't
bro.
see it.
Oh, that was awesome.
There you go. He hasn't smoked flour so long he forgot
Look at
how to
that.
use the.
Forgot how to use a
flame.
freaking lighter.
I've tried it though, man. I've tried it, and there's just, no.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
Oh, we're talking about weed. JB, what you got in the weekend weed?
Okay, that's right. Let's do it. Let's get into it. It's the week of weed.
Wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you're smoking on, the news that matter to you, the news you want. It's the Weekend Weed.
All right, guys, it's JB Perez with hashtag the Weekend Weed, the segment on the Podheads web show where I bring you the latest and greatest cannabis news from around the world. And here we go. We're in episode, 27, I think this is?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of news in cannabis, and that's a good sign, that there's always something newsworthy to present to the world in regards to cannabis. So here you go. With that being said, actually, the first headline, it's a little bit not necessarily newsworthy. It's just I like to do weed news when stupidity is like the main subject, right? We're pro marijuana here, but we're also pro look at these idiots. Guys, the first headline is coming out of Oregon. I'm sure you don't know who Walls of Jericho is. It's a band. It's like a metal band. But in that circle of musicians, Walls of Jericho is a well-known band. Well, the drummer, Dustin Schoenhofer?
It's definitely not the name. I don't know what it is, but that's not it.
Dustin Schoenhofer, okay? Whatever his last name is, it doesn't change the fact that he got caught up with 630 pounds of marijuana, okay? In his pickup truck.
Damn.
Got pulled over, all right? And then had the audacity to say, I didn't know what was back there. I was just driving to Ohio.
Yes.
That's
amazing.
That's why this is a headline.
In his
Guys,
own personal vehicle?
I'm reading over the news right now. The heavy metal drummer was pulled over in his Chevy pickup truck by a state trooper during the stop for a traffic violation. The trooper obtained probable cause, which probably just meant looking in the back of a damn pickup truck. And he got caught up with 630 pounds of marijuana. Guys, that's stupidity, no matter what you think of marijuana. Remember, it's still illegal federal. And when you have that amount of marijuana, there's nothing that's going to save you.
Yeah, you're an ass. You have 630 pounds of weed. I mean,
Yeah,
you're an ass.
why?
There's no... Yeah, why?
Like,
And you're a heavy metal guy? Like,
what a random number. Like, did you buy 700 pounds of weed? Is that left over from 1,000?
Yeah.
Like, are you like what? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's weird that that's what bothers me, but yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get caught up for having possession of a bunch of marijuana, probably distribution.
that's my favorite excuse ever is, I'm sorry, I didn't even know what was back there.
He literally said that. I didn't know it was back there.
I didn't know I could do it, officer.
It's the best thing you could say, actually. Don't admit. If you're going to say anything, the best thing you can say is, I had no idea. If the minute you start telling stories and this, that, and the third, you got to all prove that in court. All the police got to do is prove that he did know it was back there. I'm sure he's got to present a better defense, but still.
The lawyer is going to look at that video and go, yeah, so we're not going to be able to do much here.
It's a little crazy. But you're probably right, Frank, that he's probably thinking more on the legal side. Anyways, guys, moving on. The clock is ticking. Let's get a little bit more serious now with the Weekly Weed News. That second headline, and you know me, I love to bring you reports and studies and research. And the second headline in this Week of Weed, hashtag the Week of Weed, is this: cannabis legalization, it reduces binge drinking. That's your headline, guys. Did you know that there's a difference between like binge drinking and excessive drinking?
No.
Binge drinking is when you're drinking to get drunk, like you're trying to get effed up. You understand?
It's just
Excessive
chugging.
drinking,
You're just taking shots, chugging.
yeah, to party. You know, I always thought, isn't that the point? I guess when I was younger, I guess that's what I thought. And then excessive drinking is drinking more than than normal, right? More than your daily wine glass. Well, anyway, long story short here, guys, research by investment firms, right? People with money, they want to know this information as well. They found that in states where it's legalized, binge drinking has dropped 9% below the national average, okay? Doesn't seem like a lot, but we're talking about millions of people. Okay, that's a big number. And then excessive drinking in those same states dropped 11%. So if you take the total, 20% below the national average, when in legalized states, people are drinking less.
Yeah, that's awesome. I used to drink a lot more, especially when I was in the military. I wasn't allowed to smoke, nor did I have any interest in smoking, but I drank like a fish.
Yeah, you're right. And now today, I definitely smoke more and I definitely drink less. Definitely have my glass of wine. Yeah, I got a little bit of time here, and I'm going to end it with this since we're going to talk about Mexico today as our main topic. The news coming out of Mexico is this. Several weeks ago, or I believe even last week, we might have talked about how Mexico was going to legalize marijuana. The government was going to be pushed to legalize it. Well, not so fast. Mexico missed their own deadline, right? October 23rd, and that's your headline. Marijuana legalization is delayed in Mexico. They said they still need time. The leaders over there said that it won't be voted on this week as planned, that they need more time to review the bill, but they admit to the concern of shielding the legislators from external influences. That's according to their own words. So, I mean, I guess they're keeping it real. You know what I mean? That's your news, guys. That's your headline. The clock is ticking. We got to get out of here, keep it moving, but we're going to get into it. Mexico, let's hope those outside influences aren't the cartel.
Let's hope that it's not something nefarious. There's a big word for you.
Yeah, nefarious for sure. That was a good one. Yeah, let's hope that these outside influences aren't the nefarious ones that we're thinking. Guys, we got to get out of here. Hashtag The Week in Weed. We're the Potheads at the Potheads Web Show. We'll be back. We'll keep talking Mexico. Those are nefarious influences. Yeah.
Quick shout out to one of our sponsors over at the Quality Suites. They have a phenomenal Halloween Horror Nights package with a 2-night stay at the Quality Suites on 7400 Canada Ave. You can actually get a $50 gift card at Universal Halloween Horror Nights, free breakfast and free Wi-Fi, and you'll only be 7 minutes away from the park. All this for just $279 plus tax. You cannot beat this guy, so give them a call at 1-877-457-8444. That's 1-877-457-8444.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Type U Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. The Type Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now to get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
The Podheads Web Show presents Pioneers in Pot. Jack Herer. A head shop owner early in his career, Jack Herer is widely known for his efforts to decriminalize cannabis and expand the use of hemp for industrial use. Made popular by the success of his best-selling book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, a compilation of facts and figures surrounding cannabis as it relates to culture, commerce, and politics, Herer has been an influential figure in the legal cannabis movement since 1985. As an activist, he argued that cannabis should be legalized and taught how hemp could be used as a renewable source of fuel. Much of his work continues to be cited in cannabis rescheduling and legalization efforts today. There's also a pretty good strain named after him that is popular to date. Put one in the air for Jack Herer, a true pioneer in pot. All right, folks, you're back in the Cypher with the Podheads. Thank you for sticking with us at the Podheads Web Show. That's Podheads. Look for us all over social media, guys. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And you know what? Shout out to everybody that is showing us love, because I've realized lately, or I've noticed lately, we are getting a lot of love on social media. Likes, comments, responses. See Money, definitely put one up in the air for you for kind of manning that whole situation. But yeah, so shout out to everybody who is showing us love on social media. We love you guys. Sure. We always say it. We're very accessible. If you holler at us, we'll holler back. And we love to check out your cool posts and stuff. Ain't that right, See Money?
Yeah, buddy. And don't forget to share a cold one with us here in the studio. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed the box of beer we got from Tavor.
Yes.
And if you're following our social media, we've been posting each beer that we got, and Sunday will actually be the last beer, followed by a video recap of the ones we got. So use the promo code PODHEADS, PODHEADS, for Tavor's app, and you'll get a $10 coupon. Don't sleep on it, guys. The beer was pretty awesome, so I'm excited to get more for sure.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Definitely awesome beer there, See Money. And thanks a lot to Tavor for hooking us up. Guys, so we wanted to talk about what's going on in Mexico, because it is buck wild out there. Wild West. El Chapo, right? Everybody knows who El Chapo is. Joaquin Guzman was like the head of the Sinaloa cartel, which was like one of the baddest cartels in Mexico. Well, with the U.S.-Mexico kind of team up, we captured him a few years ago, and he's just been convicted to, life sentence in U.S. prisons. Well, Mexico decided the other day they were going to go after El Chapo's kids.
Yeah, feeling themselves.
Yeah. Feeling themselves, right? This thing sparked an all-out war in Culiacan, right? Heavy
there's
fighting. There's videos. We're talking about buses on fire, military weapons, and we're on both sides, okay? They roll up on Ivan Guzman's beautiful house and arrest his ass right in front of his $1 million cars and his very fancy compound. But just ran up. There's video of the actual arrest. During the arrest, they're telling him to call off his people, because while all this is going on, his people are tearing the city up. Now, it hasn't really been revealed why exactly the violence was sparked. JB, you mentioned a minute ago that there's outside pressures that delayed this voting on the weed legalization. So I'm thinking, put two and two together, maybe all this violence is coming from them trying to get them to block the legalization.
Ooh, I mean, it's not that you don't have a good point. We don't know. We're definitely just
That's speculation.
Here.
Yeah,
speculation, right? So let's not get ahead of ourselves. What I believe is that the Chapos, man, you don't mess with the Chapos. The craziest part of this story, and I was trying to get, the craziest part of the story is just the fact that the cartels were so much heavily more armed. Essentially, the government was outgunned. The cartels overwhelmed the government forces.
They lit trucks on fire. They lit buses on fire. They blocked roads. They had 50 caliber heavy machine guns. They were shooting down helicopters. Bro. What? Yes. And when they arrested the kid, he called his brother and said, yo, stop the violence. They got me. I'm giving up. Cut it out. He says, hell no. We're not stopping nothing. And continues. This all resulted in the capture of like 12 government officials and military personnel. These people firebombed and raided military housing. I mean, full breach. I mean, these guys ran the city, forcing the Mexican government to give back El Chapo's kid. They captured the kid and gave him back.
And gave him back. How wild is that? You can't even make a movie like that, and that's real life.
It really is just something out of a Hollywood action scene, like with Frank the Tank just described, shooting at helicopters. It's like, is this real life right now? Like, this is nuts, man.
So the bad guys don't necessarily play by the rules. I mean, governments are handcuffed by their own policies sometimes, right? 50 cals in back of what? Toyota pickup trucks? Again, I still can't get the fact that a gang could come in and just outgun the cops and gave them back, a criminal. I thought we don't negotiate with terrorists,
Well, from what I've read, the approach that the Mexican government is taking is like, you know what? Enough people have been killed in this war on drugs. You know what I mean? We need to start taking other approaches, which is probably a cop-out to the fact that he just freaking folded like a freaking lawn chair. Mm-hmm. But I would like to see less people getting killed. The numbers, I tried to do some research on this, guys. The numbers vary so vastly. I read numbers from 30,000 all the way up to over 200,000 deaths since 2006 when the government really started cracking down on drugs in Mexico, because half the bodies they can't even find. They surmise like 50,000 people are missing, bro. Still missing.
Murder is a daily occurrence. It's a way of life over there. I'm sure its cities are world leaders in murder and crime. It's about safety, right? We were talking to your point earlier. The government was saying, we want to legalize marijuana because we want to take it out of the hands of the cartel. We want to bring down the violence, to bring down their income, right? They want to change this. So whether this is related or not, the government is trying, I'll give them something, right? They're trying to take it away from the hands. So maybe let's not stop spilling blood here. Let's stop fighting head to head and kill them another way, right? By taking their funds, by maybe legalizing marijuana. Again, speculation, my high thoughts. But, damn, are you going to keep fighting 50 cal back of Toyota pickup trucks?
Before any of this ever happened, and this is according to thefederalist.com, but this is a news report, a few days before this happened, a dozen Mexican police officers were ambushed and killed by the cartel. Yeah. And then the next day, the Mexican army took out 14 cartel members. So this is... Okay. And they're saying they're on a trajectory to surpass last year. 29,000 deaths were actually reported between the military, the police, and the cartel. And they're going to beat those numbers this year. Whatever they're doing now is not working. We can say that, working. Right? Fighting fire with fire is definitely not working. And this is devolving. This is a situation that is devolving to something that is similar to like these rogue countries that we hear about in Africa that are just run by rival gangs and different terrorist groups. I mean,
or like a civil war, right? Like half your country, right? It seems like the cartel is a business. You're talking about everybody is cartel paid. You know what I mean? So it's like half your country is illegal. So you have this sort of civil war. It's nuts, man. It's crazy to be on this side and looking at it because I can't imagine living in that type of situation. I can't.
I'm so glad you said that, JB. I'm so glad you said that because I want to ask you guys something. You know, and let me say this. We don't have the damn answers. I talk because this is what we do. This is our job. But, you know, we try to hope for the best. You know what I mean? We try to look at things objectively, but we have no idea what it's like to live in that situation. You know what I mean? It's that plata or plumo type of thing. If a cartel guy comes up to you, you're a police officer, and says, look, you take this money or we're going to kill you and your family, what do you guys do? You've took an oath. You're an honorable man. Well, you going to take the money or you going to take the risk?
Yeah, bro. Just because you know the cartel does this, they will kill your family.
Yeah.
There's almost no choice there. I feel bad for them, bro. I do. Yeah. I'm taking the money, by the way.
We'll have to Walter White it somehow and defeat them from the inside in a year's time. You know, you got to go along with it for now, but then you'd be like, all right, you threaten my family, I'm at least going to kill you one day, but I'll play the game for now.
They got to infiltrate them, bro. Movie style, bro. Spy, CIA stuff.
And you hear about it all the time, the infiltrator and these movies like this, but I bet you there's people right now who are undercover in the cartel.
Have to be, right?
Shit in their pants every day. Yeah.
They're the ones that have to. Whoosh, bro. Every day you're sweating balls.
One slip, like a wrong hand gesture, would be like, oh, that doesn't look like something we do, and it's like, that's it, you know?
Yeah. Wow, man.
But that's brutal, dude. I don't know.
You know what? I'll put one up in the air for Mexico because, again, I'm going to give them props for trying to legalize marijuana. I think they're going to do it. They're right at the gate. They're pushing the door open. They can't just close it now, no matter what the cartel does. Whether this is related or not, we're just speculating. They're going to legalize marijuana sooner or later. Let's hope, the potheads hope, and put one up in the air for Mexico, that takes a big chunk out of the cartels, and maybe we see some decrease in this violence. With that, guys, let's go to break. We're the potheads at the Potheads West Show. Hashtag Week Wednesdays. Hashtag The Week in Weed. Hashtag Mexico. We'll be back, guys, with some Burn C Money's High. Hashtag that, too, for the potheads.
My computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. See David Smith Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
The website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
The Type Beard Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and author numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Yes, it's that time again. Get your blazing stuff and your munchies. It's time for another great but terrible movie, The Drug Screening.
Did you ever see Son of a Woman? Yup. You ever seen Son of a Woman on weed?
You may have seen him before, but you've never seen him like this. We've scoured the archives in search of some of the worst movies just to bring you the hidden nugs that were made better by Bud. The Podheads Web Show presents The Drug Screening.
All right, and it's my turn, apparently. It sneaked up on me, this one here for The Drug Screening. An oldie but goodie for me. I hope you, my co-hosts, remember this movie, and if they didn't, I might be upset. Little Nicky from 2000 with Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
Such a great, great stoner cult movie. 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. 5.3 out of IMDb. We're all laughing just because of the quotes and the scenes already. November 10th, 2000. Wow, that came out 19 years ago.
Wow.
Oh.
I feel old.
Oh my God. So anyway, I'm sure people know what this is, but if you don't, the synopsis is, in a perfect world, he'd be happy to headbang in his room all day to listen to heavy music, but no, his mom is an angel, his old man is the devil, and like all good fathers, he insists that Nicky gets involved in the family business. Nicky could think of 666 things he'd rather do than being a corrupt person, but he has to command Hades, like, I guess, the world of hell, obviously, and his bullying older brothers are what kind of makes his life difficult. And Nicky and his brothers go to Earth, and they just kind of duke it out and battle it, and it's nothing like what you think already. It is the most ridiculous, funny thing. Adam Sandler, obviously plays Little Nicky, and he has, a speech impediment for whatever reason. Adam Sandler decided to do that, and it's just amazing. I don't even know how to describe the movie, so I hope my co-host can help me, because it's very hard to describe what it's actually about. It has nothing to
he's
do
the
with what I
son
just
of
read.
Satan. So Little Nicky's the son of Satan and gets sent to Earth, or find his way to Earth, and he falls in love. And everything that is in between is hilarious and amazing, especially for the drug screening, where you should definitely be stoned. I mean, I can't get it out of my head the dude with his boobs on his head. I mean, literally has growth of breasts on his head. He puts tassels on it, and he starts swinging around his head.
You had to
like
be
a
there. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
I
it
mean-
sounds a little raw, but you gotta watch it.
Get
Definitely,
your butt together and watch Lil Nicky.
And shout out, of course, like we said, to John Witherspoon, who was also in the movie. He was the street vendor trying to sell
Yes.
stolen goods. It's so hilarious with the...
What you looking like that, baby?
Yeah, so
I don't
great.
know how to make it.
But it's a great movie, guys. Nicky dies a bunch of crazy times in different ways, and he gets sent back to hell, and he has to come back. It's amazing. Ozzy's in it. I mean, just crazy cast. Amazing things happening in hilarities.
amazing guys, for sure.
So yeah, definitely check out The Drug Screening, guys. And if you haven't seen it, let us know if you liked it or if it was terrible. Until next time, The Drug Screening. And here I am again, stealing the limelight for a little bit here because it's my segment. A very valuable segment to me because it helps me vent and not implode. This is what burns my high.
Hey buds, this is Making C Money from the Podheads Web Show. Welcome to my segment called Burns My High. This is a segment where I vent to my fellow peers, listeners, and friends about what irritated me since the last time we came together. Usually everyday life dealing with everyday people. I'm a Sicilian from New Jersey and I've just been told that I'm funny when I rant and rave. So this is what bothered me since the last time I got together with you guys.
And thank you for joining me, guys, on What Burns My High at Making Sea Money at the Podheads Web Show. Let us know what bothered you during the week. It'll be fun to vent some stuff, talk some trash about that fellow employee who always talks trash about you. I don't know, I've been there, maybe you have too, but neither here nor there, so let's get right into it. I overheard someone get into an argument in my own family, actually, which was weird. Extended family, because we all had like a get-together recently. And I overheard one of them say that they were smarter than the other person. And one of them is a lawyer, and the other one is a PA, I think. And I just I had to interrupt them, and I said, well, wait, and now I had disabilities in school. You can fact check me. I mean, I don't know, there's something wrong with me when I was little. I don't really know what it was, but I remember when they took me out of my one classroom and put me in a room by myself with a bunch of different puzzles and stuff in front of me. And all that, I remember that day. That was a really demeaning day, and I was like in 5th grade. Yeah, good times. But I just said, well, what do you mean exactly? I said, what do you mean by smarter? I said, do you mean you're more educated? You're more educated. So you went to school for something, so you were educated on this. I said, you're not smarter than somebody else. And it resonated with me. And I've actually had a lot of people in my life say that to me, oh, you're just stupid. I'm smarter than you, and they're probably a doctor or one of these prestigious careers. And it makes me laugh because they genuinely think, and I know we've all encountered a doctor or someone of that stature that thinks they're better than you. I mean, come on, most doctors give off that aura. For you to say that you're smarter than me, not only is that demeaning as hell, it's disrespectful. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think being smart is like being street smart, having common sense, knowing what to do in a lot of situations that won't get you in trouble, it could be, have detrimental effects to you or somebody you love, blah, blah, blah. I hate when people say they're smarter than somebody else. Now, don't get me wrong, I lived in Florida for like 20 years of my life or whatever. I know there's some dumb people out there, let me get it wrong. But I mean, really, and especially my family, to have that condescending tone of I'm smarter than you. Why? Because you went to school, you ass. I mean, how do you guys ever have someone in your life that was tried to be demeaning in an intelligence sort of way to you?
Your intelligence is completely based on your ability to retain information, and depends on what information you put in there. So if you don't have a life and you literally sit there and read books about math and science and whatever the hell, then people are going to say you're smart because you've just remembered a bunch of crap that other people wrote down.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You have good memories, what that means. You have good memories.
So then what are we basing intelligence on? Your memory?
I think C-Money hit the nail on the head when he said between book smart and street smart. I mean, I agree 100%. I'm a self-professed the smartest, dumbest person in the world. Like, I'm pretty book smart, but I am inside the box, terrible street smart. It's not that I don't have street smart, but my point is that.
Jamie will not do the plan making if we ever plan a heist or go out on lamb or whatever.
I'm totally inside the box and we will get caught. I have plan A and that's it.
Good to know.
Don't go with me. But I'm pretty book smart. I'll get straight A's, and I was good in the military, right? When life was structured and I had to follow instructions, I was really good at that. But other than that, I'm following you guys.
I'm the opposite. I'm the exact opposite. It's so crazy. Maybe that's why we all get along so much, because we're so different. But, it's the same thing, man. In school, I wouldn't say I struggled, but I never really tried hard until maybe, 10th grade in high school. I mean, you know what I mean? 10th grade in high school, I kind of matured a little bit, and I got pretty much straight A's from there on. But I pissed away 9th grade, and I was a bastard in freaking middle school. You know what I mean? My teachers hated me. So it took me a little bit longer to mature in that aspect. But I've always been street smart. I've always been able to kind of figure out how to get myself out of situations. If you hand me some kind of mechanical device or put me in front of a car, I can pretty much figure out how to take it apart, put it back together. There's not much that I couldn't kind of just figure out by deduction.
Yeah, it just hit me a certain way. I'm like, there's no. There's two totally different things. You're not smarter than somebody else. Don't be a douche. And this one, I sometimes, like to get bake and scroll through social media because there's some hilarious things. Even reading like arguments between people can be really funny. And Joe Rogan put a meme of course, an Epstein meme, and what it was a Wheel of Fortune thing where some letters were missing, but you could clearly say that it said Epstein didn't kill himself in the Wheel of Fortune puzzle. And it made me laugh, but what burned my high and what I wanted to see what my co-hosts think is nothing's going to happen. Even the New York State coroner's office or whatever, that report came out and said, yeah, no, there's a lot of evidence saying this guy did not kill himself. And nothing happens. Like, why don't they take that story and go to whoever should be in charge of receiving that and go, okay, so knock, what do you have to say? Because this isn't... Nothing happens!
Right. Anybody? Somebody? Hello? Police? Help?
Have you guys ever
like,
seen
all right.
movies, like the Bourne movies and others of the like, where a reporter or some badass finds out a government secret? Even Shooter, right? Shooter, they had found out that these senators were killing people or raping, something like that. And it's a movie because crap like that, there's no Mark Wahlberg to come to the rescue and expose these senators. These guys get away with it because money talks, right?
I mean, they essentially their reach is limitless. I mean, they killed a guy in suicide watch in a jail that never has problems before. Yeah.
And I feel like they're getting so blatantly lazy because they know it's like they're dangling it in front of us. Like, look what we can do. We can make it so, and nothing will happen. We can kill people right in front of you guys, and you know what I mean?
Nothing of Law or Nothing, and it is literally the worst cover-up in the history of murder cover-ups. Like, it is so obvious. I set off base, right? If you take this evidence that they have and present it to any judge in the world, any precinct, anybody, without the names, and they get convicted of murder.
Yeah. You think he knew it was coming?
Wrong here.
Like in the movies when you knew that's it. I just effed up. They're coming for me. Like, do you think he knew it was coming? Or
no, bro. They caught him. He was sleeping.
Trying to fight.
Yeah, he was trying to fight it, and they strangled him to death, bro.
Yeah, his cellmate was like a 300-pound ex-crooked cop meathead that could rip you apart with your bare hands. Dude,
he went Stallone on his ass. Yeah, he went Stallone on his ass for sure.
Probably a reason why they put him with him.
Just a crazy thing. So just remember, guys, Epstein didn't kill himself. But it just burned my high, like I said. Thank you for joining me on this segment. Let me know what burns your high. Like I said, let's vent about something. It's always fun. Gets it out of your system. We need a little comic relief at the end of the day. Until next time, we'll be back with a little education, higher learning, making some money.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. The Type U Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. The Type Trivia Show would like to thank Buggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now to get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
It's fall season, autumn, whatever you like to call it, and it's my favorite time because that means comfort food. And one of my favorite things, guys, is applesauce, apple cider, anything with apples, cinnamon, all that delicious stuff. So I'm going to give you a bomb applesauce homemade recipe as a great side dish, or if it's nice and cold outside, you want something that's going to warm you up, I promise this will do the trick. So you can take 3 apples. You're going to use a Granny Smith, a McIntosh, and a Golden Delicious. The reason being the Granny Smith is super tart, the McIntosh is in between sweet and tart, and the Golden Delicious is super sweet. You're going to skin the apples. Then you're going to coarsely and roughly chop them up. It doesn't need to be perfect. They can all be different shapes and sizes. It doesn't matter because you're going to mash them regardless. Now you're going to throw 3 cups of apple cider into a pot. Throw in the chopped apples. You're going to add a pinch of nutmeg, just a pinch because it's a very powerful spice. Half a cup of orange juice, a couple squirts of fresh lemon juice, 1 cinnamon stick, and you're also going to need 2 tablespoons of Saigon cinnamon, maybe more. It actually has anti-cancer properties, so cinnamon is incredible for you guys. So you're going to combine all these ingredients into the apples with the apple cider in the pot. Bring it to a boil, and then immediately bring it down to a simmer. Now the goal here is obviously to get those apples really waterlogged and mushy, because you're going to mash these in the apple cider to create the apple sauce. So once they're a good consistency, you're going to take a masher or even a food processor, whatever you need to do, and you're literally going to mash those apples into that cider. Let it cool down, try to simmer it, reduce it, and get it to the consistency that you want. It should come out perfect. If not, add more apples, put it in the fridge, let it cool down, let it coalesce. It's so good, guys. I love that it's fall. At Making Seed Money on Instagram and Twitter. Send me pictures of your recipes. Let me know where you eat, what you eat. I want to know it all, guys. Food is incredible. Until next time, guys, I'm out.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you, Mr. C Money, for another excellent edition of hashtag C Munchies. Guys, you need to go online and check these things out at the Podheads web show, at Making C Money. Hashtag Weed Wednesdays. Shout out to WJHM 102 Jams. Joe Boy and Pierre over there always making sure we're out on time, hooking us up. Appreciate the love, guys. Also, shout out to Tavor, right? They're sending C Money beer, hooking us up with a special promo code, Podheads, PODHEADS. Just go to Tavor.com or download the app on the Play Store or the iOS, whatever Apple uses. I don't use that crap. And download the app, put in Podheads, save yourself $10. I mean, come on. It's beer. How could you say no? Anyway, we got another edition of Higher Learning, and of course, keeping with the subject, I want to talk about the cartel. So, here we go, Higher Learning. All right, that's right, folks. Now I feel like an absolute piece of flaming turd since C Money says burns as high as people saying I'm smarter than you. That's literally the intro to my segment. But I'm just joking when I say it. But anyway, here we go. Facts about the Mexican cartel. Okay, and this is from bankableinsight.com. Some of these facts could be a little bit controversial. I haven't had the particular time to fact check every single one of these, but I will. And if I find anything to not have any reference or evidence or just can be completely false, I will reference that on the next episode. There's my disclaimer, so check it out. Facts about the Mexican cartel. First one, guys. According to this site here, Mexican cartels rake in approximately $30 billion a year in U.S. drug sales.
Wow. In U.S. alone, not even in their own country. In their U.S. alone, $30 billion, bro. That's nuts.
That's insane money, man. That's insane.
So, guns, 50 cals, Molotovs, grenades, that's nothing.
That's nothing. Cash buys whatever you need in this society these days, and they have a lot of it.
Yep. Next fact. According to this list, 90% of the cocaine that enters the U.S. comes from Mexico. Also, Mexico is the largest supplier of marijuana and methamphetamines to the U.S., which I'm sure is changing now with the legalization, with the changes, but there is still a very, very large black market business. You mentioned that on the Weekend Weeds, JB. There is still a very large black market, running the percentage with marijuana here in the U.S.
And they're the ones providing the supply.
Makes you wonder what'll happen, when all the legalization stuff does go through, because like you just said, the cartel still makes plenty, I'm sure, off those other drugs, so that'll be interesting.
I'm a patriot, baby. Give me my weed homegrown. Grow that stuff, and sweet ganja right here in America. I'm down. I don't want no Mexican weed. All right, here we go. Okay, according to a study, U.S. government has made a deal with the Sinaloa cartel, and this deal was an actual operation from 2000 to 2012 that basically let them operate freely in exchange for information on other rival cartels. So basically, do what you do, we won't mess with you, just tell us how to take out your enemies. So they figured I'd rather fight one cartel, or at least be able to keep my eye on one cartel, than 10, 6.
Yeah, I mean, they're essentially they ran the numbers, right? The question is what they gave up. Like, how many lives did it cost by allowing them to run freely? That's really the question. I understand why they did it, right? You want the snitch, right? Everybody needs a snitch, or the cops need a snitch for that. But yeah, that definitely costs lives, so I don't know if it was worth it.
Not only lives in Mexico, but we're talking about lives here, right? What kind of drugs that were filtered through the Sinaloa cartel, came through under the nose of the Americans that let them do it.
You said 80% of the we said 80, 90%?
90% of cocaine, yeah.
I guarantee you they're in that percentage.
Yeah. Since 2000, over 70,000 people have been killed as a result of the cartel-related violence. Of course, remember, I said these numbers are all over the place. So we don't really know. I mean, they still have upwards of 40,000 people missing that are just buried out in Mexico somewhere, probably.
Yeah, today they're developing Mexico, right? And they're finding these mass graves that they'll never identify, right? Bodies with missing heads, right? Torsos, they hang them from bridges, you told me, Frank. Yeah. Just hanging there as warnings with no identification. It's nuts, man. Ooh. Don't mess with the cartels.
Yeah, just stay out of Mexico. I mean, for real. Mexico's
it's a shame, right? But for
people
real,
are dying
it's not a good spot to be.
No. But here we go. I got a few others because we got to get out of here. We're running low on time. Banks. It's actually known, according to this report, that big banks have helped cartels launder their money. And according to one source, billions of dollars has actually been laundered through HSBC and other
Hong Kong
and other big banks of the sort.
Wow.
The bank was actually penalized by the Department of Justice for $1.9 billion. So the U.S. Department of Justice fined them $2 billion pretty much. And it's nothing for a company that owns hundreds of billions.
Yeah, how much money did they launder? How much was their cut? So there you go. It's the cartel only gets this powerful with the help of insiders on all levels. So when we take that meter, right? Maybe treat them better, give them better benefits. I don't know. I don't know the answer here, but that's what's happening.
It's like the scene. It's like the scene in Scarface, bro. They bring in duffel bags of cash. That guy gets a percentage off the top of $50 million, and he keeps his mouth shut. He puts it in the safe. I mean, it shows you how crazy and stupid people get over cash, bro. Cash,
money's crazy. Check this out. Speaking of money, This thing kind of just blew my mind. Over 70% of the guns recovered from cartel-related crimes originated in the U.S.
In America.
Listen to this.
Wow.
Listen to this. Mexico has only one legal firearms dealer in the entire country. The U.S. has over 6,700 licensed firearms dealers. Those are just near the Mexican border.
So what does that tell you? So they traffic drugs up here, and then they traffic guns down there, you know?
Oh, and they traffic children and women for sex crimes and stuff like that, too.
Yeah. You remember Star Maps? You remember that? Way back in, I think, the 80s or something? Star Maps, where you can go tour the homes and all that. That was a drug cartel sex trafficking operation. You can Google that. It wasn't a Star Home thing. They were banging those kids. The white people and all those creepy mother. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And I just wanted to name these because I thought it was interesting that this report named the cartels. But I thought, the more you know, right? So before we get out of here, quick list of the 7 largest cartels in Mexico. The Beltran Leyva Gulf Cartel, Juarez Cartel, La Familia Michoacana, and they say they're possibly disbanded. And the 2 largest, Los Zetas and Sinaloa Cartel. And there's also the Tijuana or Arellano Felix Cartel. So,
I've only heard of 2 of those guys, 2 of those cartels. So there are a lot of cartels. The Zetas, I heard they're savage, bro. They'll machete you up.
And if you've ever seen something like Narcos on Netflix or any documentaries, you're familiar with those names.
Yeah, for sure. Mexico, man, I'm putting one up in the air, man. I'm really rooting for you, especially on the legalization of marijuana, because I do think that's going to make a change.
Yeah, and I wanted to make that point. We are putting one up for Mexico because Mexico, like many other countries, is full of beautiful, innocent, good people, and we're not at all trying to say they're anything like or liken them to the cartels. Cartels are just as bad as any terrorist group or just savage group of individuals. So definitely put one up in the air for Mexico, and I hope they get through all the violence and trouble that's going on out there. But that being said, guys, that's the show. We got to boogie and keep it short because we are way behind. Thank you for tuning in once again. We love you guys. 27 episodes deep, and we're going to keep rolling them out for you, so keep on listening. Wednesdays, hashtag Weed Wednesday, 7 p.m. every week. The Potheads Web Show. JB.
Yeah, 27 in, and we're going to do it forever. I'm JB Perez. We're the Potheads at the Potheads. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next time. See money.
Yeah, it was a good time, guys, as always. Very interesting stuff. Shout out to Mexico. Hopefully things turn out all right. Otherwise, they're going to be getting some freedom. So let's hope that it works out. Now we're there. At Making See Money for all things food inventing related. At Tavour for 47 different states worth of craft beer. It's pretty amazing, guys. Promo code PODHEADS to save $10. Yeah. Till next time. See you later.
Peace.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. See DavidSmithLaw.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is CWSmithLaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
The Type Beard Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at slotchannelus.com. That website again is slotchannelus.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at